Hi Sagittarius, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings, Tarot Readings from the Heart. Sorry, my screen, I've got my iPad Air which I record from now for YouTube, for the weeklies and the monthlies as well, because I appear on screen for those unless it's a bonus reading. I bought the other day a really good, well, what I thought was a really good kind of contraption where you can kind of steady your iPad on it while I'm recording, so that, you know, it's just got a nice little kind of distance going there. But every time I lean on my desk, it seems to shake quite a bit. So please pardon the shakiness of it if it does happen to do that. We're going to do your week ahead reading, guys. 11th to the 17th of March, Saggies. And we're using two decks. What we're doing from now on with the week ahead, we're looking at what the energy is that you need to focus on for the month. Sorry, for the week. And we'll be using this deck, the Ciro Marchetti Tower of Dreams. We're using that as a, just picking one card from there, and we're going to talk about the card and what you need to focus on. And then we're going to use the Druid Craft Tarot deck. This deck here it's beautiful, I love this deck, one of my favourites, Philip and Stephanie Cargom. And we're going to use this particular deck. We're going to do a past of the situation, present of the situation, and a future, the advice, what you need to do going through the week around the situation. And then we'll probably pull just 3 cards from this, the tea leaf fortune cards, just for some added advice for the week, okay? And pardon me while I drink my my coffee. It's quite late actually that I'm having coffee, but I just felt like one through the reading, okay? So first things first, let's get the Tower of Dreams deck out, and we're just going to pull the one card. Universe, but what is it Sagittarius needs to focus on this week? What does Sagittarius need to focus on this week? The 11th to the 17th of March. What is it that Sagittarius needs to focus on this week in one card? What do you need to focus on? The Ten of Wands. Okay, so that's what where your focus needs to be. Some of you guys, you know, the Ten of Wands it's one of those cards that speaks about burdens. So when you can see that he's kind of carrying all of these wands on his back, and sometimes, you know, the wands indicate action and they indicate passion and drive and motivation. This is pure fire. Okay, so pure fire is the drive that we have to make things happen. Pure fire is when you're ambitious and when you hold a great desire for something or to accomplish something. And, you know, the Ten of Wands is really about accomplishing things. And usually when you get the Ten of Wands, it is about burdens and it is about carrying pressure. There's no doubt about it with the Ten of Wands. That is one of the meanings of this card. But the other meaning of this card is that you do have a lot of stuff to carry, a lot of stuff to do, and it's about kind of struggling along and persevering until you've completed. But when I do tarot, Sagittarius, I tend to look at the card and what is the picture on the card saying. It's really important to look at those pictures. If you use pictured decks like I do, it's important to look at it because this person isn't pushing anything. This person is carrying a lot on their back. So you need to focus on all of those things that you have that might be weighing you down this week, and you need to kind of focus on a way that you're going to overcome it, because this isn't somebody who's pushing. On the Rider-Waite deck and on many decks of tarot cards, you see 10 wands and people are pushing. They're literally carrying the 10 wands on their back up a hill, or that's generally the illustration that you see with the 10 of wands. But on this, nobody is moving. They're kind of, you know, the wands are on them. The wands are on the back of this man. So this is all about what you're carrying this week, and many of you might be carrying a huge weight, and the focus needs to be on that weight. And the tarot should really be telling us what it is that you need to do about this. It's also about shouldering, you know, these energies, because you need to focus on what this Ten of Wands here reminds me of as well, Sagittarius, is that somebody is carrying, or they are kind of withstanding a huge burden. And this is the card where you close your eyes. If you're carrying something huge, if you're dealing with something really difficult, it's about closing your eyes and kind of meditating and saying, it's okay, I'm going to get through it. So this is all about withstanding some form of force. And some of you guys need to focus on that. It's almost like going through some rigorous training where you are being taught to feel no pain. So for some of you guys this week, it might be the focus for you guys is to withstand a difficult period, because, you know, dark is before the dawn and all that type of thing. It doesn't mean that something's going to last forever. It's just a case of having to kind of deal with it right now, the energies right now, because tens mean completion. You're coming to literally, you're at that ending of the cycle. It's the final push. before everything is over and done with. So this is about also this week just kind of withstanding the final stretch of a situation, no matter how kind of pressurizing and difficult it might be. It might be important for you guys to focus on doing that instead of trying to kind of, you know, get rid of something within your life with this Ten of Wands, because he's not going anywhere. He's not even moving on the card. He's withstanding the pressure. You know, it's almost like when you've got bellyache with this Ten of Wands. You know, when you've got bellyache and you're called over, or if you're giving birth to something, it's almost like that's the kind of position a woman that gives birth would be in a lot of the time. This is all about going through the pain, but it's about breathing, slow breathing, and just getting yourself through it. So this week it's about just withstanding that pressure, because, you know, nothing lasts forever, and whatever pressure you're going through as well, Sagittarius, will not last. We're going to have a look and see what the past of this situation is for some of you guys. Universe, what's the past saying? What is the past about concerning this situation for Sagittarius? Well, the first card is about the world. So this is about the ending of a cycle or the completion of a situation. Now, the world is a good card, because what the world, or this could be a lesson. The world can mean many things, because it's the last card in the major arcana. It can be the lesson that you've learned after a particular journey that you've been on. The world can also mean the achievement of a goal. So when you've got the world card, you're achieving something great. And it might be for some of you guys, in the past, you wanted to achieve something great. For some of you guys, it might be that you ended a cycle, because this is all about completion. You can see that the focus for the week should be around the Ten of Wands. This is withstanding some form of pressure with that Ten of Wands energy. That's what you need to focus on. All right, instead of trying to wriggle your way out of it, just try and kind of see if you can get through it. Because in the past, the world energy, this might be for some of you guys, maybe you did achieve something huge. Maybe, you know, you got to be careful what you wish for. But with the Ten of Wands, maybe this was the ending of a particular phase. Let's see what shows with the world energy. So it might be, you know, these cards have multiple meanings, so you can only kind of think of what these cards could mean, especially in a general reading, really. But we do have, and it's funny because on this card I'm noticing it has the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. So this might actually be the beginning of a phase. Can you see it's like the Magician card? Magician is number 1, and this is the end card. This is number 22. Yeah, 22. This is card 22 or 21, dependent, because really the Fool is 0, and then it goes up to 21. So that makes 22 cards. So really, in effect, this is, if you thought about the Fool as being at the end of the world, the beginning cycle, this is the ending of one. Then you're looking at card number 21. But we'll call it card number 22, really, okay? So the world is the ending of the cycle, and think about the Magician stroke Fool, beginning of one. But this is like the Magician, it's got the 4 aces on there. So it might be that the situation was you were beginning a cycle with that world, because the world is the ending of the phase and the beginning of a new one with the world energy showing there. However, we do have the Ace of Cups in the reverse. So I feel that there was an ending of a cycle here. It might be that somebody fell out of love or somebody lost interest. Ace of Cups means to fall out of love. It means to leave. It means to lose interest. It's a deluge. I'm just going to get a quick drink. I don't want my coffee to go cold, you see. But I feel for some of you guys, there might have been an ending of a cycle with the world energy showing here. Even though we've got the 4 aces here, I feel that there was an ending of a cycle with the world energy, in which, with this Ace of Cups. And also the Ace of Cups is all about, you know, tears. When you get the Ace of Cups reversed, this is somebody who's pouring their heart out. So for some of you guys, there might have been an ending of a phase here, in which, yes, somebody left, maybe with the Ace of Cups in reverse, somebody fell out of love. But also with this ending of the phase with the world energy, for some of you Sagittarians, it might be because of the ending of that phase, what began as a result of that was the Ace of Cups, kind of the downfall, kind of the drainage. So kind of pouring your heart out, or being able to kind of finally pour something or get rid of something. Maybe this enabled some form of cleansing with the Ace of Cups in the reverse. You know, maybe this was the start of a cleansing period showing here in the past with these 2 cards. You can read it like that. You can read the tarot in any way you see fit. But for me, the Ace of Cups reverse, yes, it does refer to kind of the ending of relationships, people falling out of love. But also because it's reversed, it also reminds me of tears. But it's funny, actually, because what you've got here as well is the Ace of... It's funny, because I've just noticed that water isn't pouring downwards. It's pouring downwards like this. Can you see? So when it's in the upright, that's the downwards. So actually, no. This is where somebody fell out of love, I feel, with the Ace of Cups, or somebody left here for some of you guys. If it's to do with the emotions, somebody's holding back emotionally, because the water is going upwards. It's not going down. It's not pouring out. It's kind of like there's an emotional blockage here. So I get the impression, really, when I look at that card, because the water is funneling its way upwards rather than downwards, it almost looks like something is blocked. It's almost like a toilet. Sorry to be so crude. But when you flush the toilet, if you've got a blockage, the water will kind of go upwards rather than down. So the world energy is showing here, okay? I think that some of you guys, I think actually in the past, something with this world energy has come to a head. I think something came to a head. And I feel that there's been a major emotional blockage that's happened actually with this Ace of Cups. I'm just looking at the picture and the water is going upwards. It's almost like there's a block here. The emotion is not able to kind of flow out properly for some of you Sagittarians. I think something's come to a head here. It might also be with the emotion, with the ending of a phase here. Some of you guys have been, you know, emotionally holding back quite a bit with that Ace of Cups in the reverse there. I'm getting that you've been holding back emotionally. I think there's been an emotional blockage. And I think it's in response to the ending of a phase with the world energy. And I also feel with that world energy in the past, something has come to an end, you know, a real head here. But the emotions are very blocked with the Ace of Cups. Because emotions in the upright, the Ace of Cups is emotions running freely. In the reverse, emotions are blocked. So I'm getting emotions being blocked here in the past. Something coming to a head, the ending of a phase with the world energy and emotions being blocked showing here. 6 of Wands. Okay, so emotions are blocking you from being victorious, from being successful here with the 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands is all about your confidence. And this is about riding high and being successful with the 6 of Wands energy. But the emotions, you know, you're being blocked. Emotionally, you're blocking yourself from being successful here. All right. And I actually feel that in the past, really, with this world energy, it might be that, you know, something came to the end of a phase here, and since that happened for some of you guys, that you have been emotionally blocking yourself from kind of going out, and, you know, your confidence is being blocked. But this is an emotional blockage, the Ace of Cups in the reverse, but it's blocking you from being successful with this 6 of Wands in the reverse. It's blocking you from kind of moving forward and kind of being everything that you can be, Sagittarius. I also feel that something has come to a head here for some of you guys here, in which your emotions are now blocked, okay? So your emotions are blocking you from moving forward with the 6 of Wands energy. If you look here, can you see where the 6 of Wands is? Can you see that guy? He wants to get passage, and actually the other side is the world. So this person wants to get passage. He wants to actually go there. He wants to go out into the world, but his emotions are blocking him from going out into the world. So I do actually feel in the past, when I look at the cards that way as well, Sagittarians, that you're emotionally, some of you guys are actually really emotionally blocked here. You're like completely backed up emotionally, like a toilet would be. You're completely backed up emotionally here, Sagittarius, and you are blocking yourself from actually going out there into the world. Going out there and enjoying yourself in the world in the past. And I think that some of you guys have kind of done that to yourselves, kind of because of a situation. Right now, though, as a result of that, Sagittarius, for some of you guys, your focus right now in the present situation is on the 3 of Coins. So the 3 of Coins is all about putting hard work. It's about working with others. It's about making alliances, especially you know, in work. But sometimes this is the card of socializing. However, this does not look like socializing card to me, and obviously I'm taking from the picture on the card, and I always do that with the tarot. So your focus is on working, putting some effort, putting some back work into completing a task here, because the 3 of Coins here, can you see how he's finishing off that task of, can you see the other 2 coins? He's carved out the other 2 coins, but he's got to finish out carving out, and he's being watched by others. Okay, so his work is being reviewed. All right, so right now there's a review going on of how you're doing. You know, this is all about the work that you're putting in, and others are reviewing you. Some of you guys might be going through counselling right now with that 3 of Coins. I get the impression that you're being watched, because this workman is actually carving out the final pentacle, and he's being watched how he's doing. People are actually reviewing his work. So I get the impression that right now in the present, as a result of what's gone on in the past, you're being watched, or somebody's reviewing you in terms of... But I get the impression with this 3 of Coins energy This might be you guys working with others with that Three of Coins energy showing here. You do have the Seven of Wands energy, and this is all about, I think that you guys right now might be working with others in a way to regain that confidence. The Seven of Wands is really trying to fight something back, and you know, these cards can be very metaphorical. So, you know, with the Seven of Wands, this guy might be trying to fight back the tears. The Six Wands here that he's fighting off might not be necessarily be people. They're usually enemies, and the enemy might be yourself. It might be your emotions. So you're working with others as a way to kind of overcome, because this guy is trying to overcome the Six Wands. So some of you guys are working with others right now. You're focusing on working with others as a way to overcome with that Seven of Wands energy, the, you know, the opposing forces that you're dealing with that Seven of Wands. And the opposing forces are probably going to be the emotions that you're going through, the blocked up emotions, okay? You know, you've got a Two of Swords energy, and it's still showing emotional blocks here. So as a way that you can fight against these emotional blocks, because the Two of Swords is all about being emotionally blocked, and the Seven of Wands is about taking, you know, taking the higher ground and fighting against something. So you're fighting against the emotional blocks. And I think that some of you guys are focusing right now, Sagittarius, on working with others, Three of Coins, as a way to fight against these emotional blocks that you guys have put up. Because I do think that you've put up emotional blocks in a situation. I think that some of you guys have probably been very, very hurt, if I'm being completely honest with you. Oh dear, one moment. Sorry, I hate it when my drink gets kind of scared on it. It's not very nice. But yeah, you're fighting against, you know, you're working with others to fight against these emotional blocks that you guys have put up now. The advice that the universe wants to give you, Sagittarius, going into the week in 3 cards. What's the advice that the universe has got to give you on this situation? You know, you've got the Devil energy showing here. Now we're going to get another card with that Devil, because the Devil is all about your fears. It's all about the things that enslave you. With that Devil energy showing there, Sagittarius. So what is it telling us about the Devil? Well, the Ace of Wands energy. You need to take action. The Ace of Wands is all about taking the action. If you look at that, it looks like it's a match. So I think that in a way, this is all about setting something aflame, all right? I feel that you guys are enslaved here. The actions, the advice for the week concerning this situation, well, you've got the Devil showing here, and the Devil is all about you guys being enslaved to something here. And I think that what you're enslaved to is the hurt that you've experienced. I'm seeing an ending of a cycle here, and this has backed you up emotionally. This has kind of caused a great deal of emotional blockages within you, and I feel that you have blocked yourself. You are stopping yourself. You're blocking your passage through to kind of, and as well with the World energy showing here, this is all about completion. So this is all about completing a certain time or a phase within your life, Sagittarius. But I feel these emotional, because you're emotionally blocked here, and because you really want passage into this area. So what you want to do is you want to pass over that waterfall, but you can't get through it because you're going to get killed. So some of you guys want to pass through to the world. You want to actually get some form of access through to completing this situation. But your emotional blockage here, Sagittarius, is stopping you from actually passing through and completing the situation, showing here. And you're working with others to fight against, you know, this emotional block that you have put up. So you're probably, some of you guys might be even looking at going for counselling, or you're looking to kind of spend time with friends. I do feel that the advice is, you know, Ace of Wands is all about setting something aflame. It's all about new beginnings. With this Ace of Wands energy, it's fire energy. It's pure action in your hands when you get the Ace of Wands energy. The Devil, though, is about enslaving ourselves, okay? But I feel with the Ace of Wands energy, because you can't get a Devil that goes straight over to an Ace, if that makes any sense, because he's kind of midway. He's like number 15 in the tarot. In the major arcana, is his number 15. So this isn't an ending of a cycle with a Devil, not unless it's showing as a reversal. All right. I feel that you need to... Devils can also be quite good when it requires that we take control, okay, of the situation here. To me, these look like two very explosive energies. But how I'm going to look at this is that you need to take control with the Devil energy of this urge, of this desire, because this is desire. This is pure desire, is the Ace of Wands. And I think it's the desire that you still have for whatever the situation is, Sagittarius, that keeps you emotionally blocked, because I get the impression that you're so bereft of the situation that you simply cannot open up. You've internalized so much, and the Two of Swords really is all about internalization. It's about internalizing our hurts. That's why we block things out, block people out, block our emotions out, because we're internalizing. And I feel that with the Devil energy, you really need to take control, perhaps, with this desire energy of the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is all about the flame. You see, if you look at this, it's a wand, but the sun is setting it alight. All right? Now, you can't go, for me, you can't go from a devil. These two would be two combustive energies together for me. Far too combustive. I mean, the devil has fire at his hands. He lives in hell, for goodness sake. And then you've got the Ace of Wands. He's just going to set everything alight. So for me, this is just too combustive as an energy together. You know, even though this is Capricorn energy and this is kind of fire energy, it's just too combustive. You know, so really, if I were to look at maybe the, you know, the elements of it, this is pure earth energy, is the Capricorn card of the devil energy showing here. All right, this is all about, he's a very controlling character. All right, so maybe with this fire energy of the Ace of Wands, maybe you need to take control of that flame, for example. If you put dirt onto fire, it's going to doubt it. So really, you need to take control of this very kind of combustive energy that's going on with you, the desire that you still hold. I'm going to see what the other card is showing here. Because the Devil and the Ace of Wands can be a very sexual energy as well showing up, but that's not what it's about. We're asking what you need to do in this situation. And for me, the Devil is to take control, to rein in that fire. Because devils rein things in. They're reining in the two people here. He's often got them on a chain. So he's like the Chariot in a way. So this is all about reining in that power. Because the Ace of Wands is all about power. And I think the advice is really to try and get control. Rein in that power. Okay. The Magician shows up here. I feel that, you know, the Magician is all about having the power to create new things. Alright. I feel the advice is really to rein in the power that you hold. And it's funny because the Magician rules the aces. Okay, and this is all about having the power to create, because the Ace of Wands is all about holding that raw energy within your hands. And if you're holding the raw energy within your hands of the Ace of Wands, you can use that ace. Remember, the Magician has a wand. So the Magician, this is the wand, it's the Ace of Wands, and this is the Magician. So he has the power to create everything, and you've got to rein in that power to create. Because you're the only one who's in charge of this, Sagittarius. You're the only one that's in charge of this. And this is why I think that you need to focus on, with this Ten of Wands energy, trying to deal, trying to kind of... It almost feels like, to me, it's not about internalizing the situation, Sagittarius, with that Ten of Wands. It's about bearing it. But I don't think that you're bearing it. I don't think that you're holding up. And I think that for some of you guys, the focus for the week needs to be about holding up in a crisis. Because this Ten of Wands, it's breaking his back. But he's obviously holding up, you know, with the Ten of Wands on his back. And the reason that he's holding up, Sagittarius, is because he's in prayer. He's in meditation mode. He's, you know, he's crouched down, and he's kind of, it just reminds me of him saying to God, you know what, Lord, I'm going to put it in your hand. I'm bearing this, you know, I've got this huge, huge battle. I've got this huge, huge burden on me. But you know what, Lord, I'm just going to deal with it. I'm just going to bear it. Okay. And this, you know, this is almost about, it kind of reminds me of letting God just take control of the whole situation. When I look at that Ten of Wands, it reminds me of somebody just allowing God to take control. And I think you need to focus on kind of just allowing God, universe, source, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is that you consider to be your God, you need to allow it just to take control and just to be able to help you just to lift the burden. Now, the Ten of Wands in the reverse is lifting a burden. But if you're dealing with the Ten of Wands in the upright, you're carrying the burden. But you need to focus on just carrying whatever you're carrying this week. Because you guys have, you know, there's been an ending of a phase, and you really have been backed up with grief. With the Ace of Cups in the reverse, because the Ace of Cups reverse shows the water going upwards. It's backing up in the system. So you guys have been backed up with grief because of the ending of this cycle here showing up. And even though you've wanted clear passage over to the world, but you know that you've got to get through the grief to get to the other side. But you can't get to the other side because you're so backed up with grief. Can you see how that works? The Six of Wands guy wants to go into the world, but he's so backed up with grief, he's got to go through that huge deluge that could kill him. So you guys are really backed up with grief here, I think, in the past. I think something really really not very nice happened for some of you Sagittarians, and you've been so backed up with grief that you've not been able to, you know, try and surpass it or try and overcome it. It's been really tricky for some of you guys. Right now, though, I do see you guys focusing on, if you're not doing it already, you're probably focusing with the Three of Coins on working with others so that you can fight, you know, you can fight against or fight off this kind of emotional blockage that you've got going on here. Because this is working with others, this is fighting against, and this is an emotional blockage. So this is all about you fighting against an emotional blockage, all right? Going forward into the week, I do feel with this devil energy, you need to try and take control of this energy of the Magician and the Ace of Wands. Because the Magician and the Ace of Wands, and remember, this is the Magician's wand. Okay, he uses his wand to create. So you need to rein in or take control of the power that you have to create this energy here of the Ace of Cups. Reversed. Because you're so backed up with grief, but you're creating the grief because you've got the power. You've got the leverage to do that. And some of you guys, it's a case of really feeling sorry for yourself and saying, why me, not again, I lost this relationship, I lost this, I lost that. But, you know, it's almost like with the, because the Ace of Wands, remember, it's on some decks, it's almost like a paintbrush. So you're being given license to create. It's almost like you're giving yourself license with the Ace of Wands to create whatever you want with the Magician. But the devil is kind of putting those reins, he's putting the grip on that. He's saying, yeah, you're only able to draw maybe between 10 and 3 in the afternoon, and then you've got to pack it up for the evening. So you've really got to kind of try and, you know, for the week, the advice is try and control. He's a controlling, you know, entity is the devil. You need to control your license. You need to control this paintbrush that you have that gives you license to create all of this kind of blockage that you're doing here. Okay, and you need to do that by working with others, whether it's friends or whether it's a counsellor, to try and fight against the emotional blocks that you guys have put up there, Sagittarius, for the week, for this week. Because some of you guys, the focus for the week is about bearing. Bearing is the Ten of Wands, just getting through it with the Ten of Wands energy. It might be painful, but the focus is perseverance with the Ten of Wands. And remember, he's really in perseverance mode. You know, he's just closing his eyes. He's saying, look, I'm just going to go with the flow. It hurts, but I'm okay. It's like a pregnant woman. Just breathe, 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 and the baby's going to come. Just breathe and then push, breathe and then push. That kind of energy. So this is a week of perseverance and going through that pain, going through the cycle. It's going to come to an end. It's going to end soon. It will end, but you really need to focus on just perseverance and just dealing with the pain as it is. It's not about blocking it out. It's about just allowing it just to kind of leave when it needs to leave, and for that you need other people around you. Let's get your advice with 3 cards through the tea leaves. Universe, Spirit, what is the advice that you have for Sagittarius for this week through the tea leaf? Fortune cards in 3 cards. 1. Right, Arrow, you are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. That's a nice energy. What's the next one showing up here as advice? Second bit of advice for the week is Shield. You need to defend yourself, which is true. All right, you do need, but you need to protect yourself from yourself, okay? That's what you need to do. And advice number 3 is younger woman, dealings or relationship with a younger woman. So some of you guys got dealings or a relationship with a younger woman this week. You need to defend yourself, but I think it's against yourself, really. You need to protect yourself from yourself, and that is by working with others to help you. You need to kind of try and control the license that you feel you have with the Ace of Wands to start creating all of this, you know, all of these blockages in your life that you feel you can't surpass. You need to work with that. Perhaps others will help. And finally, you are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. And that right path will be the 3 of Coins, where some of you guys have thought about working with others to surpass this energy showing up here. All right, that is your reading, guys. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.